Okay, great. So, welcome to this series of Meet the Masters. I'm very happy to introduce Mr. Salman Faraz, who holds an MBA degree from Indiana University of Pennsylvania with Supply Chain Management as concentration. He holds a bachelor degrees in electrical and electronics engineering as well. He has previously worked in multinational companies like Dell, Accenture, and the Kanu Group in the Middle East. He has an elite combination of both Western education and an Indian upbringing, which contributes to his distinctive personality. So, welcome Salman. I request you to start your presentation, and participants, please ask your questions after the presentation.
Thank you very much, Shivani. Good morning to everybody. Um, Thanks for joining in. We are here to discuss about Texas Tech, and I'm pretty sure all of you must have heard about Texas Tech. It does stand well when it comes to its ranking in engineering programs, and also to do its business program. So I'll be just taking you across a few of the facts of the university, as well as say the requirements by the departments, and also the program and the rankings. So let's begin. So the first thing is about Texas. So Texas is the second largest state, both in terms of size and population. It's pretty huge. It is bordered with the south by Mexico, and it does have famous cities like Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, and Austin. I think all of you must have heard of Houston. It does have the NASA space station there. So leading industries include agriculture, petrochemicals, energy, computers, electronics, aerospace, and biomedical sciences. So the industry-wise, Texas does have a whole lot of opportunities for all of you. I mean, if you graduate from a college in Texas, you do have access to the industry. It's one of the best places to be. Lubbock is where exactly the Texas Tech University is situated, and I mean, Texas already has a good reputation of having the cheap cost of living. I mean, Lubbock makes it more cheaper. You know, the cost of living is pretty affordable, especially for students who are even planning to go for undergraduation, which does take like 4 years to finish. So, you know, Lubbock is one of the best places to live when it comes to, say, the weather conditions. It's pretty much like how it is in India, and also with the cost of living being cheap, it becomes very affordable. Talking about the Fortune 500 companies, yes, Texas does have the one of the highest number of Fortune 500 companies in the country. So that is something which other engineering students also look out for. They would want to get into their jobs, would love to look at internship options. So all of that actually works in Texas. Coming to Texas Tech University, it's a large research public institution founded in 1923. And as I said, it's situated in the town of Lubbock. So it's pretty old. It's kind of finished 100 years very soon. It has 1,839 acres. You know, that's a huge campus size. Then the semester-based academic calendar, yes, they do have the fall semester and then the spring and the summer. So as you can see, it works on the academic calendar with semester-based. And the university also runs research centers and institutes. So as you know, like pretty much the American universities are potentially a research center as well. Like every university is potentially a research center. So Texas Tech is no different. It has an in-house research center and plenty of institutes, including the National Wind Institute, which is pretty famous. Students, especially the undergrads, are supposed to live on campus. I mean, the campus is huge. The in-house housing facilities are amazing. So for anybody, even undergrads or grads who are looking at having in-campus accommodation, Texas Tech would be very ideal. Students will be a part of 450 student organizations, including Texas Tech's large Greek community made up of almost 50 fraternities. So 450 student organizations is pretty huge for all of those who would actually want to be a part of different organizations or say robotic clubs and stuff. This is the place wherein you can actually choose according to your interests and join the particular organizations to work together. Coming to the Texas Tech schools under the university, you can see it has the College of Agricultural Sciences, College of Architecture, College of Arts and Science, Rawls College of Business Administration. That's where we have the Bachelor's in Business Management and the MBA. Whitaker College of Engineering, pretty famous for all the engineering fields. College of Human Sciences, College of Media and Communication, College of Visual and Performing Arts, College of Education, interdisciplinary studies, which is like you can pick up subjects from different fields, like pick up engineering as well as a business program and get into an interdisciplinary study program. Certificate programs for short term, it might be 6 to 12 months, and the other non-degree programs. So this is all is what is housed under the Texas Tech schools. Now getting into the rankings, the overall ranking when you look at the Whitaker School of Engineering, it's 94. But when you look at the sub rankings of different programs, the petroleum engineering ranks 8 in the world. Industrial manufacturing and systems engineering ranks 38. Civil engineering ranks 70. Mechanical engineering ranks 78. Chemical engineering ranks 84, and electrical and computer engineering ranks 92. I'm pretty sure most of you who really care about the rankings, I mean, this does give you a good explanation about where the university stands. And anybody who's actually interested into petroleum engineering, it's one of the hardest universities to get into. So we'll just look into the requirements going forward. I think that will give you a better explanation. Coming to the engineering degrees available at Texas Tech. You could see bioengineering, chemical, civil, computer engineering, computer science, construction engineering and management, cybersecurity, electrical engineering. So you could just see the bachelor's, the graduate certificate, master's and doctoral. So if anybody has plans to say get into a program here at the bachelor's level, then you can go all the way till the doctoral. You know, in programs like chemical, civil, computers, construction and electrical engineering. So anybody interested to get into the master's program and do have plans to actually get into the PhD later, then you could see chemical, civil, computer science, electrical being the options. Like going ahead, the other engineering degrees here, you could see engineering, healthcare engineering option, environmental engineering, industrial engineering, mechanical, petroleum, software, systems and engineering management, wind science and engineering. Wind science and engineering is not available in all the universities, so Texas Tech does have a wind research institute as well inside. So anybody looking at that field, you know, can utilize the opportunity to be here. So you can just get an idea from this. The industrial mechanical also holds a very good ranking at this particular university. Looking at the eligibility criteria for graduate programs. Now that's the undergrad GPA we're looking at. It's 3.2, and the average GRE score breakup is total 304, and the verbal should be around 150, and quantitative can be 154, and the analytical writing is around 3.5. Now, when we talk about the average GRE score breakup, it's the average of the students, the complete batch of students incoming. The scores can be a little low or a little, a little on the higher side, but then the overall application is actually evaluated. So if somebody has a score of 295 with a good academic performance, he would still have a good chance at getting into the university. So you could do the math. If somebody has a higher GRE and the undergrad GPA slightly lower, then we can work on that. So overall application with the GRE, the undergrad GPA, as well as the other documentation, especially your statement of purpose, the letters of recommendation, and your resume is going to be the decider, for your admission at this particular university. You can ask me more questions and maybe with the graduate programs if you have any later. So we could just go to the TOEFL, TOEFL and IELTS. The English proficiency options you see, we have so many of them, but I'm pretty sure in India most of you do take TOEFL or IELTS. So we look at a 79 or above in TOEFL, and when it comes to IELTS, 6.5. And as you know, the validity of these these tests are 2 years. So you have to make sure that you are within the validity date to be able to apply. Looking at the undergraduate programs, we are looking at an average high school GPA of 2.5, and the average score probably an SAT of 1140 or an ACT of 25. So for any of you who's interested to get into the bachelor's program, this is what we're looking at, and it's pretty much the same way. I mean, if you have a lower SAT, then make sure your high school GPA is higher. And if your high school GPA is higher and if you have a slightly lower SAT or ACT, we can work on that. Assistantships. This is something which comes up for graduate students very often. I mean, they want to know how to go about getting assistantships at Texas Tech. Students must be admitted to a graduate degree program, enrolled in classified graduate status in order to hold an assistantship. So you have to be enrolled, and you have to be on the campus, and then you should be at a classified graduate status, and then only you'll be eligible to hold an assistantship. The students employed as research assistants must be enrolled for 9 credit hours. I think many of you know that to be a full-time student at any university in the US at the graduate level, you have to be enrolled for 9 credit hours per semester. So this is no different for assistantships here again. So you should be enrolled for 9 credit hours during each semester, and 3 credit hours during the summer for each summer session employed. During summer, a lot of students do internships, so you should be at least enrolled for 3 credit hours during the summer semester. Assistantships again can be granted for 10 hours per week or 20 hours per week. It particularly depends on the requirements of the professor or requirements of a project that you would be allotted the number of hours accordingly. Students with appointments of 10 hours per week may hold a concurrent position elsewhere on campus as a research assistant or a student worker. So 20 hours per week is the maximum what a student can normally work for in a week. So if you're already working as 20 hours per week as a research assistant already, then you cannot work anywhere else. But then if you are working for 10 hours a week, then you can actually hold another position in the campus as an research assistant or as a student worker for another 10 hours per week. So that gives you an access to kind of utilize the complete 20 hours. Research assistants again are appointed between September 1 and May 31st each year. So that'll be the fall semester beginning. So any of you interested at the fall 18 level, you would be eligible for this beginning September 1st. Summer appointments are made as funding is available. So we really cannot guarantee the summer research assistantships appointments, but as the funding is available, it would be taken care of. Coming to the tuition, one of the main aspects, Texas being famously known for the lower tuition cost, Texas Tech is no different. You can see the tuition fee for the undergraduate level is $23,222, which actually can be a lot lower with a good profile, and you can get scholarships. The same thing applies to graduate, where you can see 16,746, which is for a standard 18 credits. Now if you do the math, it's gonna cost you around $900 per credit, and you must be knowing that at the graduate level you need about 30 to 33, 36 credits depending on the program to graduate. So it would actually cost you around $30,000 to $27,000. Now if you begin with 30 credits, it's gonna cost you around $27,000 overall tuition, and if the credits are higher for the particular program you're getting into, it might go up to $30,000, which is quite affordable. Talking about room and board, these are the prices. If you're in campus, it's gonna cost you $9,759. If anybody's staying off campus, you can actually save a lot on that total cost. Books and supplies, $1,200. Transportation, $2,300. Personal and miscellaneous is $2,800 for graduates. So this is the standard 1-year tuition. Overall cost it would be for like $38,226 for undergrad, and for a graduate level it's gonna be like $32,805, and for law programs it's slightly higher. It's gonna cost you around $50,000. So this is the annual budget what you can be looking at. Coming to the business programs at Texas Tech, it does have a bachelor's in business administration. It has an MBA program. It has MS programs with specialization in accounting, data science, and finance. Data science is something which is really famous, and many students are picking this up. This is one of the newest fields. We also have a PhD program in the business, and the dual degree programs, like you could pick up MBA and maybe a MS Finance. There's an opportunity for you to do dual degree programs as well. And we have the short-term graduate certificates for working professionals or freshers who want to get some more deep knowledge in particular fields. Now, talking about MBA, the annual costs in the US for an MBA is pretty high, but then at Texas Tech, it costs you $36,000 for the whole of program. that is very affordable, keeping in mind that the MBAs are expensive. So you can look at that program if you're really interested. And as you know, the eligibility for this would obviously be you should have at least experience of a couple of years. But then if somebody has extraordinary performance or say good internships, then that profile can be evaluated on case-to-case basis. Now, eligibility criteria for business programs. For graduate programs, we're looking at again 3.2 undergrad GPA, and for average GMAT score, it's around 550. The TOEFL and the IELTS stays the same. And talking about undergraduate programs, yes, we're looking at 2.5, SCD of 1100 and a ACT of 23 to get into the Bachelor's in Business Management program at Texas Tech. Now I have a little video for you to discover the extracurricular stuff, what happens at Texas Tech. It is actually a 4 minute 15 seconds video, but I'm gonna give you like a good 5 minutes to look at it with the streaming. So I'll just be back after 5 minutes. Please go through this video. Thank you. Okay, great. So you got a chance to look into Texas Tech in detail, you know, what students normally do there when they are not studying. So it does look interesting. There's so many other things what you can do on campus at Texas Tech. So going forward, we'll have a Q&A session, and I'll also leave a video of engineering programs for all of you who are interested in the engineering. You can look at this at the end of the session, just for those who are interested into engineering programs. So you can look at each field of engineering and how the labs are and everything. So anyways, you can shoot questions to me. I would be happy to answer that. Yeah, so the MS deadline would be Jan 15 would be the first deadline for some of the programs for scholarships, and then we're gonna have a last deadline in the month of May. But then for programs like electrical engineering, computers, Jan 15 would be the final deadline. Unfortunately, we don't have it in nanoscience as a specific program, but then at the under the electrical engineering, you have an option to pick up a minor of nanotechnology. So I think you must be knowing about VLSI embedded systems. That is something is what you can pick up in under the electrical engineering department. Can yes. Yes, Rajan, you can apply for an MBA with 15 years education. No, the MBA program, especially the 15 years of education, you can apply. But then, see, for an MBA, we always recommend you to have a little bit of experience. And if not, then we're looking at a higher GMAT. Yeah, the one which yeah, that's actually per year. So I mean the cost of living which I showed you, which said $9,000 odd, it is actually per year, but that's only if you stay in campus. Now, a lot of students who go at the graduate level do stay off campus, sharing accommodation. So you can actually bring that down to a effective, say, $5,000 to $6,000, per year if you actually stay off campus. So you don't have to really worry about the cost of living. Texas itself is a place where it's very affordable, and Lubbock for Texas Tech especially makes it lower than that. So that way, the cost of living can be brought down to a complete, say, $10,000 for 2 years of your graduate degree by staying off campus. Yeah, ideally we're looking at 2 years of experience for an MBA. But then as I said, if you have a good GMAT and some internship which you have done during your bachelor's degree, we can look at giving you an admit. Nothing again, just like the nanoscience, we don't have a program specific to robotics, but under electrical engineering and computer engineering, you can pick up an interdisciplinary program wherein you can actually work with the computer and electrical engineering departments together and work on robotics. When I say robotics, basically the artificial intelligence part. For that, you will need subjects from both computers and electrical engineering field, and also a bit of mechanical. So that will be an interdisciplinary program which you can look at. But we do have the AI option. Yeah, sure. Sure. So how it works is, say, as I said, the average GREs of at the university is about 304 to 305. Now what we're looking at is a higher score than that and an overall profile. Now just the GRE score cannot be used to kind of make a decision on your scholarship, but then DC as well, and if you score a GRE in excess of 310, then absolutely MS Computer Science is a place where you can look at scholarships. And if you have spouse say 315, you can get to a bigger scholarship. Yeah. Afia has MS Data Science, doesn't expect data science who actually have a software background. Yeah, data science doesn't need any work experience. I mean, Afia, if you have an undergraduate degree in computer science, then absolutely you are eligible to get into it. I mean, keeping in mind that you have the good undergrad GPA as well as your GREs with you. For data science, I mean, it's ideally computer science students who apply, but then there are some students who actually are in the field of, say, electrical engineering or from the field of mechanical engineering, but having worked in software companies with limited, information about programming languages. So if you know C, C++, SQL, then Java, and that's a good thing to know. So there'll be some prereqs to follow. Basically, it's about some of the programming languages. Can you please? Okay, the MBA is STEM tech. Yes, MBA is not a STEM or Texas Tech. I'm sorry. MBA will allow you only a 1 year standard OPT after your graduation. You want me to answer the NIDA question? Yep, yep. Yeah, I can answer the question. NIDA. Yes, Shivani, I'm going to answer the Nida question. So Nida says, I'm a EC undergraduate student in the third year. How do I build my profile for obtaining admission into computer science graduate program? Yeah, Nida, first of all, the most important thing, when you're applying for Texas Tech, say for when you're in your final year, it is important for you to have your sixth semester undergraduate scores and make sure they are good. What we are looking at is a 3.2, but then try to have a higher undergraduate score. Apart from that, try to write your GRE when you are when you have vacation after your third year, or at least in the time maybe after your sixth semester exams, so that you can get a good GRE score. Because computer science and electrical engineering degrees, I mean, they are the ones which require higher GRE scores. Generally, so that's the reason the competition levels, the number of applications we get is very high. So it's necessary that you maintain a good undergraduate GPA, as well as write your GRE when after a good couple of months of at least 3 months of preparation, and then score a GRE on par with 3 or 5. And I think that should do good, to get into a computer science program. Now, MS programs, see, data science is the only program, I mean, of the MS programs which we have. Accounting and finance obviously doesn't come, and data science is the only program right now which comes under STEM. Can everybody else hear me? Okay, I think Shivani, just have to check your connection, I feel. So anyways, I can go ahead, no problem. So Rajat had a question. Okay. How are the job opportunities for big data domain in Texas? Shreya, as I said, the job opportunities for in Texas are huge. There are way too many multinational companies, also the Fortune 500 companies with in cities like Houston, Dallas. These are pretty huge, and for you, Dallas would be the place to look at when you look at the big data. There are way too many companies offering internships and jobs, and also Texas Tech has an amazing career center which helps you send out your resumes to these companies around the campus, to the closest major cities, and that's where you can have a good shot at getting internships and that convert that into a job. Coming to Rajat, what about the placements offered to the MS students? I mean, as you must be knowing, there's nothing called placements as such. You work with the career center, building your profile and a resume, and that will be used to forward to all the companies around. You will also have to look for internships by yourself through your professors who are very helpful when it comes to getting you internships. And what about the placements offered to MS students? That's the answer. So career center you have to work with. Astitwa has a question. Please also tell me what is the last time to your applications for 18. See, as I said, you'll have to look up for individual programs. For Jan 15, we have a deadline for computer science and electrical engineering, and that will be actually also be the scholarship deadline. If you any of you are interested in the scholarships, then I think Jan 15 is something which you should be looking at. And for other programs, it goes up till May. So please, I think I can share the link to individual programs. Okay, Astitwa has a GPA of 6.5, international internship, 2 technical domestic. Which university should I apply for? Which university should I apply? Now talking about Texas Tech. So if you have a good GRE score 317 and TOEFL and GPA wise, I think you can look at applying to Texas Tech. I think you can get an admit. Okay, Rajat, but if you see this link, it states MBA is STEM. See, the MBA is only STEM if somebody has a STEM bachelor's degree. That's also is important if you look at the FAQs. MBA will be a STEM program if the undergraduate program where they come from is actually from STEM. One of the unique programs it has. If you can just check on the same link. Again, it depends if you actually wanted to get into research. As you know, there is an opportunity to get into PhD programs if you're interested in and around Texas or even in Texas Tech. But then if you want to get into a job, then obviously it comes under the STEM program. So you have like a good, 3 years to work. So you can look at opportunities across the major cities in Texas and work with chemistry. I mean, work with the career center for the biochemistry companies. And the opportunities again are plenty in Texas, no doubt about it. Astit was saying about, I think, civil engineering. Okay, I think I answered that question. It's not at the time of application. It would be after you get an admit is only when you are actually eligible for a research assistantship. But then your profile will be sent out to, you have to reach out to the professors once you're on campus. As you can see, September 1 is when the assistantships actually are decided. So you need to get an admit, you need to be on campus, you need to meet up with the professors who are carrying out research in particular fields, and you should have a plan of your own. If you have a thesis, if you have a synopsis of which kind of a project you want to get into, you should discuss that program with the professors, and that is only when a call will be taken. Again, coming to GPA requirements for PhD, it has to be from the same field. That's one thing, and you should have some research experience. We see a lot of students wanting to get into PhDs after finishing their MTech from India without having any research experience. So you should have a good amount of research experience after your MS. And coming to the GPA requirements, obviously we are looking at higher requirements compared to a Master of Science for PhDs. And also when it comes to GRE, we are looking at a strong quant score higher than what we look for the master's program. Because again, PhD without funding is going to be really expensive and difficult. So I would suggest you to look into the PhD only when you have plans, when you have research program, when you have a good amount of research experience, as well as good GPA and GRE. Integrated PhD, again, it depends. I'll have to look it up if there's any integrated program. I think I can talk more about the engineering programs today. If that is something which you really want, I think I can look up and get back to you on that. Yep, yep. She means to say she has a backlog. See, Sitwa, different departments have requirements. So there are the engineering school requires official transcripts, but then in most of the official transcripts, it is mentioned, if you have actually cleared a subject at the first attempt or second attempt. So it completely depends. But then if individual mark sheets are asked, then it would be difficult to kind of, not have that subject shown that you have retaken it. Now coming to engineering programs, we normally the class strength is 49 to 50. The link which I have actually shared you when it comes to engineering, you can look into it, and it again depends on the programs specific. Not all programs have a batch of 49 to 50, but then most of the engineering programs we look at, there's a batch of 49 to 50. I think Devashrita integrated PhD. I think you can, Shivani, can you be in touch with her maybe, and I can forward the details to you. You can forward it to her. Yeah. we can do that. Robotics, is it custom? Yeah, absolutely. It does give you an option to have like say 18 credits which are core and 12 credits which are actually electives. So going by that, looking at the interdisciplinary program, you can look at customizing your course at the discretion of the departments. Now that's the most important thing. So when you look at electrical and computer engineering, you will be going across and you will be talking about the kind of electives you want to pick up, which is going to support your robotics. So it is possible. Yeah, petroleum engineering again is one of the most famous programs at Texas Tech, and most of the students who actually get into petroleum engineering are from top schools across India as well, from the IITs or so they say the NITs, and the GRE score obviously for the petroleum engineering is pretty high. We are looking at an average of at least around 320 plus. To be eligible for it, keeping in mind that ranking of the particular program. Apart from that, a very good GPA, and also if any work experience you have, that's only going to add because eventually to find a job in petroleum engineering post your graduation, it would really help you if you have any experience, on field before you actually get into this program. And job prospects wise, being in the top 10 in the country, it will really actually help you with the companies like ExxonMobil, one of the biggest petroleum companies, do hire a lot of students from Texas Tech for this particular program. Not really. It is not compulsory, but you have it. That's only going to help your profile for admission if you have one. Okay, Devashrita has one paper publication. Yeah, that will actually help you, to get in actually. If you have a publication, is really good. Yeah, I think the mechanical industrial engineering, yeah, the mechanical industrial engineering, the civil engineering, and obviously the computer engineering and computer MS computer science rather. Keeping in mind that computer science actually has the maximum jobs to begin with in the whole of US. So it would be the most famous, I would say, computer science program, the electrical engineering, the civil, mechanical, and petroleum. These are the ones. Yep. The MS Computer Science is pretty much, it is more of a software-based program wherein there'll be very limited, information or say syllabus when it comes to computer architecture. So if somebody is interested or is from a background of computer engineering who wants to look at the software side and is looking at a career of, more of a software engineer, then computer science is something which will be, apt for him with just couple of hardware subjects to support. Now, computer engineering does involve a lot of other electrical engineering subjects as well, because computer engineering is also about a lot of hardware, and a computer hardware cannot be taught without the support of an electrical engineering department. So that's the reason I think you must have seen that most of the US universities have a ECE department, electrical and computer engineering department. So that's where when you pick up MS computer engineering, you will be studying a lot of concepts from electrical engineering as well as studying computer science. So for those who are interested with hardware and software and computer architecture subjects like say VLSI, embedded systems, the computer engineering would be the best option. For others who are interested at the software side, you can pick up the computer science or software engineering program. I mean, I wouldn't recommend anybody right on call because I would expect you to go up, look into the curriculum of each of the program and decide it for yourself that what is the program, the syllabus, what is the program which actually fits the bill. So you need to make your choices there. Again, computer science is the most selling compared to computer engineering because computer engineering is slightly more research based. People are interested in embedded systems, want to carry out research or say PhD, then it's computer engineering what they pick up. People who want to be industry ready, MS computer science or software engineering is what they pick. Yes, that will be computer engineering, which will be taught between computer and electrical engineering, but the degree would be computer engineering. Yes, plenty of them. Plenty of them. The other reason why the industries also do exist in Texas is because of the real estate. Now the cost to put up an industry or to buy a place to kind of set up an industry is gonna be obviously cheaper in Texas. Texas is one of the most price efficient place. So that's the reason the industries are huge in Texas, and even the demand when it comes to applications to these universities are huge. So you just shouldn't be worried more about the options post your education. I think the winner here would be your GPA. Once you graduate from a college in Texas, you got to make sure that you have a very strong GPA. Every university's students with the GPA is considered very equal. It's not gonna be like different university has a different cutoff. So US is very universal when it comes to GPA. So it's always important to concentrate and score the highest possible number when it comes to your GPA, and that will help you get a job or at least an internship in the final semester, maybe which you can convert into a job. For fall is something which is more conventional because students do graduate in the month of June. So I see a lot of students here who are in their third year or their say final year who are in the conventional cycle. So for them, I think the best intake would be fall where they don't miss out on any time, and they can take up their GREs in December, whenever they have holidays, and I'm hope many of them are preparing for it, so that they'll be within time to apply. And with fall intake, it also helps you to get a summer internship at the last. Now, that's the best part. So with spring, you do miss out on that. So you would like to graduate with an internship, which is called as CPT in the US, curricular practical training. You can pick up an internship in the last semesters for 6 months, which normally is you can convert that into a job later on to pursue working there. So for that, I would recommend, the fall intake. But then if somebody has not written the GRE, if somebody is busy, with their present schedule for their graduation, then I think you have no option but to write your GRE after you graduate in say May or June, and then apply for spring. But then fall is more ideal. No, again, it depends overall that what the company is looking for, what kind of profile they have. Now, if somebody has a pure software engineering program or a software engineering, job profile, then it does really matter. They might be favoring people from the MS field, but then it's not that there won't be any common subjects between both of them. There will be common subjects, but it's just that the M engineering students would be more towards the computer hardware, so they're gonna choose companies alike. Now, if you have to give you a best example, say a company like Google gets in, and they're looking for somebody who is gonna be working in the pure, software development field, then a MS student would be more excited to get into that company. Now, an M engineering student would not be so interested. He would be like, okay, that's a software job. I'm more into the architecture side. That is when a company like, say, a Qualcomm gets in, and a M engineering, that's the computer engineering guy, is more excited to get into that. So over time, you will realize, or you will actually have your choices of the kind of job you want to get into. But that again completely depends on the job profile. If you kind of fit the bill, you have the information, then you can appear for an interview. And if you can crack it, I think that's pretty much it. It really doesn't matter if you're from M engineering or MS. You should fit the bill. Yes. I think it's completely equal. We cannot really, make a statement on that. But then, as I told you, I would recommend you to look at fall as a better intake, so that you can do your summer internship and convert that internship into a job. So that's the reason I would say that don't look at the easier way to get into. Look at the ideal way, which is fall. And when it comes to GRE and stuff, as I told you, whenever it is easy to go with, you can actually look at getting the best possible GRE and apply. Thanks, Shivani. Thank you everybody for joining in. Have a great weekend ahead. Thank you.